Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man. We're happy to have you back. Your hosts with you, as always.
I'm Ryan, I'm the Good, and Dan.
And I'm Dan. I'm definitely the Dan. And Ben?
I'm Ben. I'm the Florida Man. And that is the closest we've gotten.
I practiced. I said, Daniel, you're the Dan. That's what I said.
Ah, the Dan.
I like how Ryan finished his by reminding you what your name was. He was like, Dan, what's your name?
I'm a helpful boy. You know, that's my game plan.
Oh, you friggin' goofballs. All right, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, welcome. We are three stand-up comedians that got shut down as the world did, and we turned to forming a podcast just for your enjoyment, not for us to make money at all. This is just for you. If you think it's not for anything else, you're right a little bit. But if you want to see us perform stand-up live sometime soon, you still can. Things are opening back up. Ryan, you got any shows coming up?
I do have some shows coming up. I have a show coming up in the you flipped me.
No one's gonna notice.
No one's gonna know, except for the people that watch on YouTube. They're gonna be like, "What happened?"
They're not, because we're recording it differently, so they won't even. I'm just gonna keep your screen down there the whole time.
For me, I got a DC Comedy Loft show coming up in DC. I don't know why I got lost there in November. And then I'm doing my new hour at Flappers on June 24th. So if you want tickets to that is available right now, and I'm stoked. New York, I actually just got my email today that they canceled, and so I was like,
oh,
yeah. So that one's down for the count. Yeah, right.
No New York.
No New York.
Eventually.
That's
We'll
right
just
now.
go to New York, just like on a normal trip. We'll figure something out.
Just friendship in it. Yeah, but that's what I got. Dan, what you got coming up?
I have a show this week, but no one's going to know that from this recording. So there's that. I'm opening for Killer Austin. And then August, I'm doing the Soliloquy Showcase. Come and watch me act as characters. And then just catch me at open mics all across Utah. Ben?
All right. I have some shows coming up. June 8th and 9th, I'll be in Tampa, Florida, opening for Frank Caliendo at the Side Splitters Comedy Club. These are actually before. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, because I know what day this podcast gets released. I wrote it right there. June 16th, I'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Bonkers inside the Hilton Oceanfront Resort. July 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta at the True by Hilton Atlanta Gallery Ballpark. August 13th, I'll be in Tallahassee, Florida at the Crumb Box Beer Garden. August 21st, I'll be in Boca Raton, Florida at the Boca Black Box. And then August 22nd, I'll be in Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters location. That is the show that got moved from June 6th. And then the podcast has our first live show. August 28th in Morris, Minnesota at the University of Minnesota Morris campus. More information for that to come as we get it as well. So if you go to University of Minnesota, pretty sure you can go. If you just live nearby, there might be tickets available. We have to get a confirmation on that. But look for more information about that. That's it. Anything happened to you in the past 3 days since we recorded our last episode, Ryan?
Yeah, didn't I say something? I got a 3080 graphics card. I had to buy a computer so that essentially I could rip a 3080 out of it, because right now you can't get graphics card unless they're in pre-built computers. So I'm going to be doing a Twitch giveaway at Youth Pass Ryan, because I'm taking the old one is good for like editing stuff. It's a Titan XP, so it's like very good, but it wasn't great for gaming. So if you like editing, pop on over to Twitch, because we're going to be, and yeah, if you follow, it gets you an entry.
Real quick, can you say that one more time? But I want you to say it so that kids who played sports when they were younger know what you mean.
Okay, so here's the thing. I just got a touchdown in the graphics card community. Okay, wow. I got 7 points. We didn't even kick the extra point. We went for 2. We got 8 points. It's fantastic. It can run COD at 244 frames per second, which is to say that there's no one blocking you. Like, you're past the linebackers. You're good. I'm just so happy with it, guys. It brings me so much joy.
You tried really hard to make that a whole football thing.
I did. I like football. I love hockey, though, too. I love hockey.
Hockey is fantastic to watch. The Orlando Solar Bears just had their last game of the season a couple days ago, and I did not get a chance to go, but it was I watched the highlights. My friend was there. So many fights.
Hockey is the best sport because the only sport that has a jail in the sport. That's amazing. That's outstanding.
There was one moment where two guys got a penalty. So they were both in the penalty box, one from each team. And it was with our in-state rivals, the Florida Everblades. And as soon as they got out of the penalty box for their 2-minute penalty, they immediately turned to each other and just started fighting. And they went right back in the penalty box for 5 more minutes.
I love that so much. That just brings me so much joy. I think there was something else that happened in the last 3 days, but I don't remember it. I was sleep sprinting again. That's what happened.
Hey!
Yeah.
Tell me more.
He looked over and just saw his body print through the wall, like a hole in the wall. He's like, "Oh yeah, sleep sprinting."
Yeah, no, I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm just sprinting through my house. The problem is that I live right next to a parking garage and our blinds weren't down, so they just get to see mostly naked Ryan just sprinting through my apartment.
Ooh.
You sleep with the window unblinded?
You shouldn't say that out loud on the podcast because people are going to find your address and try to live next to you now.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. No, my windows are blinded, but again, I was running, so I made it out my door and into my living room, and that's when I woke up.
Let me ask you, what is it like to wake up running? Do you just feel the velocity and you're just like,
Actually, it's weird that you say it. That is the first thing you feel. The first thing you feel is the fact that you have movement. Because it's weird to wake up with movement. Like, no one's prepared for that. So, yeah, I just wake up moving and then I stop. And here's the thing. It normally happens after
I thought you just kept running. Like, I thought that it was just like, okay.
Is it ever, what's the first part of you that stops? Is it your feet and, the top half just keeps going and you just fall forward?
It's normally whatever I hit is the first thing that stops, to be honest. Like, I run into a wall with my arm and I'm like, well, that's stopping. I run into,
There really is just holes around your apartment, isn't there?
I was just there, and now it all makes sense. I was like, does Ryan get mad, drink a monster, and punch a wall?
House.
You're right, Ben. I am so disappointed it didn't happen while you were here because just the image of me just being sprinting through the living room as you're there is just it's very funny to me.
I'm really curious. What do you think I would have done if I woke up to you sprinting through the living room?
You would have pulled out your phone, started recording, and started heckling. That's what I think would have happened. Is just what are you doing? Explain to me your thoughts.
I know. I'm really happy that you said that I would pull out my phone. I wouldn't. I don't think. I wouldn't. I honestly because I know it's a thing that you just do, and I shouldn't be that worried about it. I probably wouldn't care enough.
Yeah. No. No. People keep telling me I need to set up a recording thing in my house to be able to catch me doing this. Because this is ridiculous.
Yes, that's content.
Yes, you do.
That is.
Bro, I will buy you one of those ex-girlfriend teddy bear cams.
Well, you need a night vision one, right?
Absolutely. Well, they all have night vision ones.
Oh,
they all have night vision.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a spy cam that you give to someone. I don't know. I don't know how to get one, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I've never purchased one. I don't have
My
one.
sister had a nanny cam on her 24/7 whenever she used to babysit.
Yeah, I guess that's the normal way to say it.
Nanny cam, yeah. The ex-girlfriend one kind of freaked me out. Dan, what happened to you other than we learned that?
I had a very regular weekend, guys. I did Pride stuff. Sprint? I did some Pride stuff. I didn't get to go to the parade, unfortunately. But I hung out with a whole bunch of gays. We went swimming. We went to the lake. I went and just chilled with my gay homies 24/7 over the weekend. And then yesterday, my mom and dad and I and my brother and sister-in-law all played Bariba, which is a card game from home. So,
we have a question. We have a question. Yes. Dan, what's your first language?
Oh.
We got so excited.
It's English. Okay. I speak English.
Did you learn other
we know that now.
I did learn Shauna, or I took Shauna in school.
Yeah, I
But
mispronounced that.
then they transferred. Well,
chick.
this is the thing. I regret, and this is one of my biggest regrets of my
I
entire
looked
life.
it up. There's 10 official languages in Zimbabwe.
Correct. Yeah. There's tons of dialects, and the main ones are well, just basically. There's a giant split, and I lived in Mashonaland, so we spoke Shona there. So I learned conversational Shona. I have lost it while being here in America. I know like general stuff, but yeah, there's stuff that you can like greet people with, and yeah, maybe we should do like a live stream where I teach you guys Shona. Would that be dope?
I mean, you could just make that part of your segment, like you do the LGBTQs and then African American.
Okay, let me do a refresher course of Shona because I need to.
Learn whatever you got to learn, and then come back and teach us a little bit everywhere. We're gonna be the most cultured podcast on the internet, except for the ones that are specifically about culture.
We're probably not gonna be able to top them, but we're gonna be the most cultured 3 white guy comedy podcast on the internet.
We have to get into the specifics of it.
We have our African American. He also happens to be white. Dan, isn't that one of your jokes? Isn't that one of your things?
Yeah,
that you talk about a BYU?
One of my jokes that I'm African American. Yeah.
I actually have 2 African American white African American friends now. Is Dan, and then there's also a guy in Orlando that started doing stand-up comedy, but like his regular gig is like reptile educator. So he's like a snake handler. So he's like the guy that would come to your elementary school with like a boa constrictor and let the kids like touch it.
Sounds like every white guy I went to high school with. Yeah.
Oh, this guy is more Florida than African high school, dude. He just has a bunch of snakes. He knows how to do alligators. Like he goes place to place and does like education about reptiles to children constantly. It's a wonderful. It's the most Florida thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that was the weird part about growing up in Africa is like you just like as a kid, you just like find cobras and all sorts of like reptiles everywhere in your gardens. And so you just be like, oh, okay. So there was tons of exposure constantly to just like wildlife, or at least dangerous wildlife, right?
Did I ever tell you guys about the time I scared a water moccasin off the intramural flag football field when I was in college?
Wait, what's a water moccasin?
No, of course you didn't. A water moccasin is a poisonous snake. It's a very poisonous snake. It's a murdery kind of snake. Yeah.
You would, Ben.
Of course
if it bites you and you don't get the anti-venom in like 30 minutes, you're dead.
Okay, let me ask you, where did you chase it? Did you just chase it into a crowd of people? You're like, get off the field!
No, just off the field.
Okay.
How?
Was it just, like, what? Was there a game?
Do we want to do a story time? Or
Ben, because we're walking Chuck Norris joke.
That can be a story.
The snake was afraid of Ben. He's becoming more Chuck Norris by the day.
They all are, man. Not just me, but like snakes are just scared.
That's your dad. Your dad's Chuck Norris. We found his dad. Oh my gosh, you make so much more sense now. Okay. Wow, guys, I bet you didn't expect us to find Ben's dad, but we did.
Based completely off of all of the things that I just said, you'd think I'd have a more interesting past week than just going to Miller's Ale House for dinner.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. And it was good.
Sounds fun. What'd you order?
Yep.
Yeah. Ale?
Zinger flatbread.
A Zinger what?
Flatbread. So I don't know. Do you have Miller's Ale House where you guys are?
No, I don't. At least.
Ryan?
Not that I know.
No. Okay. It's just like a bar and grill. You can order burgers and stuff. And their main thing is called a Zinger. It's just a chicken tender, but it's like cooked a special way. They're really good. And they have like 6 or 7 different like Zinger meals. So they have like the Zinger Mountain Melt is like the most normal one. It's just like a pile of French fries, melted cheese, chopped up chicken, like the Zingers, just a whole bunch of stuff. It's really good. Bacon bits, all that. And then they added a bunch of new stuff. They have like Zinger lasagna, which is just all right. Don't do that. They have.
I like a good ale and lasagna. That's the food I'm going for.
They have a Zinger mac and cheese. You can get like chicken strips in your mac and cheese, which is pretty good. And then the newer, they have like Zinger tacos. And then I got the Zinger flatbread, which is just a small flatbread pizza with the chopped up Zingers on top. It was mozzarella Zingers. I I asked for no blue cheese, and I changed the sauce from hot sauce to garlic parmesan, and it was pretty good.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all. No crazy stuff happened.
Solid weekend.
And if it did, I may have just forgotten.
Gotcha. Also, I hate to disappoint, but I just realized something. I muted my mic real quick for to type something because it was pulling up, so we didn't get me realizing that your dad is Chuck Norris, and I'm so sorry. But know that I know.
Oh, I heard it.
I know you guys heard it, but my OBS didn't hear it.
Okay. You muted yourself, so it's just gonna be me and Dan laughing at nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a schizophrenic break.
Just Ryan in the camera being like,
"That's what it's gonna be." That's the way you start.
Bro, just send me a voiceover.
I will. I actually will do that.
Yeah. Okay. This is the first week that's not just me recording everything.
At the end of this, I will just record over what we like.
Oh, so dumb. Okay.
I know. I'm so sorry. Maybe we should make it a fourth that records all of this.
That's the week in Alive. Granted, we just recorded our last episode 3 days ago, so not really much has happened. And we're going to record another one in like 2 more days. So still nothing is
better get busy.
I feel like I need to start like journaling so that I can like record the weird, interesting parts of my week. Because I always forget every time. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to cover. What did I do this week?
Bro, just tweet about it.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. Yeah. I'll just be like, a week in the life with Dan. Things I did today.
We're going to hop in to my favorite segment of the podcast every week. Story time! Yay! And this week is presented by the good himself. Oh, did you just hurt yourself?
He put another hole in the wall.
No, I threw my hand up. Right now,
the
my hand is doing like a tingly thing when I throw my hand up. Why does it tingle? I feel like Iron Man. That's a weird tingle. Oh, I popped something. What was that? Okay, hold on.
Are you?
The tingle's gone.
Okay?
Ryan is just like deteriorating right on the live stream.
Honestly, I'm kind of sick today, so I don't know what's going on. Like my throat is sore, and I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, I'm sick in the head all the time, but like,
you started this podcast by telling us about how you sleep sprint, and then you're like, I think I'm a little sick.
Yeah, right. I think there might be something wrong with me. Yeah, right. Everyone knows.
Like, my arm isn't working the way it should be working.
My arm really isn't. I don't know what's up with that. How did I hurt myself?
That's why the hexagons are on the wall. You've just like covered up all the little.
We're gonna get a little deeper dive into how you actually do hurt yourself, Ryan, because you talk about this a lot, and you've never told us. Well, you told me last week when I was asked you about it in person.
I was just like, I need the full plane crash story. I need this, and I was like,
plane crash story.
He's been in 2.
Wait, what?
You said 2, right?
No, I've been in 1. I've been in 1, like really.
I mean, I've had a plane 1 is still 1 too many.
I had a plane get struck by lightning, and we dropped like 300 feet, but that wasn't a plane crash.
That's fine.
That's
just
was super cash.
That's
quite
Disney's
literally a warm-up.
Tower of Terror.
Just a regular lightning strike to the airplane. We've all been there.
That's just the Hollywood Studios Tower of Terror ride. That's all that is.
It really, interesting thing when a plane gets struck by lightning, it's actually a plane works as a Faraday cage, so it actually doesn't shock anybody on the inside because it's cool that way. Science. But
living in Florida, nobody would survive plane rides if like we would die getting shocked by one.
It's actually pretty common, to be completely honest. Planes most of the time are like sup.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect it.
No. Anyway, here's what. So I have been in like a real plane crash though, and Ben always likes to go because he knows it annoys me.
It was a sort of plane crash.
Well, you know what? Let's let the audience decide on this one. Yeah. So I was younger. We had actually just been in Europe, which was cool.
I know. I just need to tell you, they're going to agree with me. Just out of roasting you.
No, that's fair. And I respect it for it.
Our fan base loves making fun of you, Ryan. And I'll claim that.
That's all bases of people is what I've learned. Oh my gosh. That's why all my humor is self-deprecating. Like it has to be. Really?
Because it's just normal humor and people are like, oh, he's making fun of himself. And you're like, no, these are just facts about my life.
These are just true statements that I feel the need to give you.
This is just what I look and sound like. Okay, so
that's so true. That's so true. But anyway, so I was flying back from we were going from Rome to Newark, and then Newark to St. Louis, which is where I'm originally from.
God, what a downgrade! Flying from Rome to Newark, New Jersey.
Yep, isn't that the biggest U-turn of like? I'll tell you what, Newark. Actually, there's a lot of Italians in New Jersey. The food in Rome is pretty fire, though.
Is that supposed to be a surprising thing to anyone?
No, I don't know. It's just funny to me that.
Hey man, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but there's like a ton of Italians living in the Northeast. They all just love New Jersey. We're kind of known as like the diner capital of the world. We love bagels and pizza. No idea where that came from. No idea.
Isn't it funny that you imagine that Roman people get over and they're like, home too. Like that's kind of neat. Like that's kind of neat.
You know where The Sopranos was like based out of, right?
I've never seen The Sopranos. I've heard good things. Anyway,
watch The Sopranos.
The offense was taken.
You guys both, your facial expressions told me everything.
But yeah, we were going from Italian, but like I'm offended.
Yeah, we were going back from Newark to St. Louis though, and after that, like I'd had a fear of flying because like every time before I'd get on a plane for some reason, I'd be watching the History Channel late at night, and the show Air Emergencies would come up. Yeah, and then I'd watch it.
Thing for children to do.
Super normal. And so I'd watch it and then I'd be terrified the next day because I was on a flight. And I was like, but at a certain point I thought, you know what, man, I wish I would just go through it so that I would know to not be afraid of it anymore. And boy, do I regret thinking that.
I feel like we now know where like the sprinting in your sleep comes from. Like, you're just trying to outrun all of the trauma you received from watching the History Channel.
No, you know what it is? It's his body trying to get away from his brain. Like, I cannot live like this anymore.
Yeah, we got to get away from this idiot. And my brain's like, I'll take me with you. We get on a plane, and I want to say it's an Embraer 380, but it was like, it might be something. All I know is that when we sit down, it's a 2-seat and a 1-seat style plane. We were flying an airline that I don't think I should probably mention by name in case they decide to sponsor us.
Spirit.
Yeah, no, I wish it was Spirit. Dude, that would have been so much,
There's no way they do international flights.
No. It might be my nationality. Anyway, so we are...
White?
American. Are you okay? What happened to you?
I don't know, man. You just kind of claim all of the whites.
What? No, that's like a racial makeup, not a nationality. Nationality is your country.
You just make up all the whites.
I am,
bro.
Obviously.
I don't know if you've paid attention to American news over the past, 400 years, but white is absolutely a nationality.
No, white is a race.
It's a joke. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I was making fun of white nationalists.
Yeah. Oh, that got so dark. Oh.
I mean, it didn't start out dark, but then I had to explain it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. You know what? I'll take the L on this one. Any who's or what's. I'm on a plane. And so we get on this plane, and there's he just patted himself and giggle, I can't handle it.
It was funny. It was pretty funny.
It was so perfect.
I'm having a good podcast today. It was fun.
I'm on it. Yay! I hope the audience is. So I'm on the plane, and me and my little brother are sitting, and we're sitting right in front of my parents, and my parents are sitting in the emergency exit row, and there's all I remember is there's this little girl and her mom, and they're as someone who worked at Disney, the most annoying combination of humans. They're just running back and forth throughout the plane, and they can't figure out where everybody's sitting. I'm just stop doing that. It's one of those things. And so,
is this before or after the plane's in the air?
This is before. That happens. So this is happening. We're sitting on the taxiway for, I kid you not, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. We're just sitting there. Our plane was already late. We just want to go home. And we're sitting on the taxiway. Finally, we take off into the air, and we're immediately flying through an electrical storm. And as said, I've been struck by lightning in planes before. I'm like, this is normal. It's fine. Yeah. But we're getting some pretty intense turbulence where we're like, ooh, roller coaster. We're going through, and we get to the end of the electrical storm. And as soon as it gets clear, we just straight Mario Kart drift this plane. I'm talking, I'm going to use Squishy as an example for those watching on YouTube. We just go, skirt, we blew sparks, and then we just are going back.
I like how you turned into a rapper real quick. You were like, skirt, 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 skirt. The Migos were on the plane.
In the mid-air, the plane just decides to reverse, and flip 180 and go back to Rome?
Yeah, no, not to Rome, back to Newark, because we're going from Newark to St. Louis at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So back to New Jersey. What's the worst part of this? The fact that your plane is now in danger, or the fact that you're going back towards New Jersey?
It's honestly such a toss-up, and I'm gonna have to go with how it ended. Definitely New Jersey.
Yo, you could tell this story to people in New Jersey. They'd be like, "Yo, your plane crashed in New Jersey," and you'd be like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "What exit?"
Oh my gosh. Well, so yeah, we're going back towards New Jersey, and at this point, this is crazy that I can't even believe it happened. So, single oxygen masks, single pair of oxygen masks, dropped from in the front of the plane. Just in the front of the plane. And when that happens, we're like, we're all looking for them. No, we didn't. Well, here's what's crazy. We're all looking around, like, when are ours going to drop? And the people that their oxygen masks dropped for did not put them on.
Yeah, no, that's mine now. You were too slow.
Yeah.
This is my mask. Thank you. Sorry, get your own.
Well, they didn't even do it. They didn't even put it on. Like they were waiting for everyone to get their food. Like that's how polite they were being. Just like, well, I don't want to be rude. Like I don't want to die rude.
I don't want to have you guys die and us survive. That just feels messy.
You're like, oh, I've had survivor's guilt before. I'm not trying to do it for 80 more people. Like I'm cool.
Yeah, we're not adding this to the list. And so
maybe they're like, would I rather die of the impact or of suffocation?
Suffocation for sure. I also will say this: we hadn't gotten particularly high in the air. Like, and I noticed that I was like, why aren't we getting above the storm? And the reason why will be apparent later. The pilot comes over on the radio as soon as this happens, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're having severe technical malfunctions. We're gonna have to make an emergency landing." Yeah,
we didn't notice, buddy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it seemed subtle.
I absolutely would have yelled out. We couldn't tell.
I'd be more concerned about the masks. I'd be like, "Excuse me, can I have the masks?"
Like, I would already 2021. Can I get a mask? Their masks on, just like, hey, we couldn't. Okay, just do whatever you got to do, man.
Yeah, dude, it was insane. And when that happens, here's the thing: most pilots like dumb it down, and the fact that he said severe technical difficulties or severe technical malfunctions, we're all like, that's intense. That is when the flight attendants, I kid you not, come running through the cabin and they're going, "Call your loved ones, call your loved ones, call your loved ones." It really did happen. It's a crazy moment. Yeah.
They should have been, what's the word? Fired immediately. Out of the plane.
Yeah, okay. Were they delivering that?
We're not that high. Just get out right now.
Yeah. Okay, but like how were they delivering those lines? I am curious. Was it just like very formal, like call your loved ones? Or was it like call your loved ones?
It was a kind of a mix, to be honest. They were seriously running through the cabin going, call your loved ones, call your loved ones, call your loved ones. You could tell that they were panicked, but they were also like still in like customer service mode. And so it was a...
Is that protocol? Are they supposed to be like...
No! It is not protocol.
They're like, F the phone laws, turn airplane mode off, phone your loved ones right now.
Well, that's what was crazy. Yeah, it's because...
How could you have?
That's important.
There's no service.
Actually, you do have service when you're on a flight. The thing that makes it so that you can't is that you are bouncing from tower to tower very quickly. So normally your calls are going to be spotty. The reason why they don't have you do that is because the radio waves interfere with the plane's radio waves talking to the ground. The problem with them going, call your loved ones means it doesn't matter anymore. We're by ourselves.
Well, they're like, we don't care what advice we're receiving from the tower. We don't care if the pilot could save your life. Just phone your loved ones and tell them you love them.
Well, that's the thing. That means how bad the plane is. And I will explain how bad it was.
I don't turn my phone on airplane mode because I'm not afraid of death. So I don't know if you guys have ever looked at your phone in during a flight. There's no service. Like you don't get
on how
signal.
high you are. It depends on how high.
30,000 feet is the average. You said not that high. I imagine you guys are like dodging buildings the whole time.
We're not quite that low, no, but we are low enough that we can keep oxygen and things like that. Okay. Because here's the important thing. When I say like everything went wrong, so the emergency exit door that my parents were sitting in was not fully closed. It was.
So what you're telling me is that it's your parents' fault.
I think so. They're prepping.
Ryan's in the back like, Dad, just shut the door. Jeez.
Dad, can you close the door? Let's turn this plane around.
Yeah. The pilot comes out and looks at your dad and he goes, Mr. Kelly, if you don't shut your door right now, I will turn this plane around.
Dad!
And your dad's like, I'm not shutting it. I'm not shutting. And the guy was like, okay.
Ryan's like, Dad, they're going to send us back to New Jersey. Come on.
Well, that's what the crazy thing was, is that because I could hear the wind going by. It's like, why does it sound loud? And then it also got too quiet on the plane. And the reason why I say too quiet is because both engines overheated and shut down. They just shut off, which means we are out of propulsion and we are in the air going back.
I'm just now thinking about this. I feel like the pilots should have noticed, I don't know, immediately that something was wrong. Like, from the moment that they couldn't reach normal altitude, they should have been like, we're going to go back.
Well, apparently it took them a sec to realize, like, here's the thing. These pilots were also incredibly tired because our plane was late. They'd been flying all day. And also the plane overheated because it had been flying all day. So they weren't expecting that. They were expecting to be able to keep it low.
Like, a lot of people did something they shouldn't have done, and you lived.
It's going to get worse, but yes.
I feel like at this point, it's just you're living out of spite.
Oh, absolutely. My favorite thing is when people tell
Ryan
me
has a vendetta. He's just like, I'm going to kill all
people. Since we've been on the internet, I know that like we probably all have people tell us, just take care of ourselves, if you know what I mean, like off ourselves. And I just like to think that like every day I wake up and just know I'm disappointing someone. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, the entire universe. This was a Final Destination movie, and you just refused to sign the. Your
parents were sitting right by an open door while an airplane flying, and they didn't die either. That's impressive.
This is. At the end of the Final Destination movies, when like the last murder is always just so stupid, and you're like, this isn't even kind of there's no way this could happen. This is what a plane lands after flying for like 20 hours straight, and then everybody that has in charge of it is just like, no, it's good. Go out again. And then the pilots walk out, and they've been like, we've been awake and flying for 20 hours straight, and then they both looked at each other and like, I'm game for another one. And they walk back on, and then your parents sat at an open emergency exit door and were like, honey, do you hear something?
No, it's fine. Ajar.
Wait, how did you find out about all the sleep stuff? Like, did they tell you after the fact?
So my dad actually talked to the pilot after that. And by the way, we're not done listing the problems on this plane.
My uncle, of course. But
my uncle also was the head of the FAA's space division at the time. So we were able to get
your uncle's fault too.
Yeah, we definitely blame him. He's so cool. He's a legit rocket scientist. And you know how dumb it is that I tell jokes on the internet? Like, I mean, like that's like comparatively family-wise.
Ryan, I'm also a legit rocket scientist.
Yeah. What?
That's literally what I went to college for.
I know, but you didn't go into space.
I've written code for NASA.
That actually doesn't shock me. Dang.
Yeah. Why am I surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm not even shocked. I don't think I can actually even be impressed. I'm just like,
Chuck Norris's kid. Like, it's like, of course, Ben.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is anybody can tell dick jokes on the internet.
There's
no gatekeeper for internet dick jokes.
That's very true. Oh, anyway, so what happened? By the way, the plane's wings were also iced over because we had been flying out of New York and it was cold. And so we have icing on the wings, then the engines have overheated. So they can't really control the flaps great because, they're frozen. So they need to heat the wings while cooling the engines. And they're like 4 inches away from each other. So that's like the worst. And so for the rest of the flight, after they say that, people start calling their loved ones. It is actually very intense. There are people around us. I will always remember that there was a woman directly next to me who was wearing a green cardigan who was just like the nicest human being. We just started talking and relaxing and things like that and like really just having a good chat because she just wanted to keep everybody calm. It was very cool of her.
Maybe she just had no idea what was going on.
That, you know what? And honestly, good for her if she did. She's just...
Why are we all stressed out? Everybody calm down.
You just see her literally pull out a blunt and light it like, wow.
I'm calling my loved ones.
Pass it around. Pass it around.
Yo, this is just the movie Airplane. She talks to somebody to calm them down. They're like, stop talking to me, lady. And she looks at the camera and goes, Chump don't want no help. Chump don't get no help.
Oh my gosh.
Funny.
But yeah. So this starts happening, and I remember very specifically. This is actually kind of where comedy came like into more importance in my life. Is I remember knowing that like we get to pick our last words. You know what I mean? Like most people don't. Most people you just die. But I turned around to my parents, and they know that
Right.
like I had told them I was like, this is where I'm getting over my fear of flying. And I turned around to them and I just go, and to think, I just gotten over my fear of flying. And they laughed.
If I were your parents, I'd be like, yeah, no, the flying was nice. It's the going down part, not so much.
Yeah. You can still fear this, but then I went quiet. I went
They just
because I was
Buzz
just like,
Lightyear you?
Yeah, I've always heard that there's like a very ominous silence when planes are crashing. Was it like that? Like
Yeah.
just people just went silent?
100%. Like dead
So
silent.
you turn around to your parents and you crack the dumbest joke.
I didn't have a lot of time.
Did you get an applause break at least? Were people like, this kid,
Oh my gosh, yes!
this kid, you should go
You
to
should
comedy.
do comedy.
You should get it, kid. I will say this. Two other crazy things that happen is when that happens, my little brother, whenever he gets scared, nervous, or injured, he's sitting next to me, by the way, he just passes out. So he just goes fully unconscious. And I'm checking him to make sure he's still got a pulse, like he didn't die of fright. But I'm like, so he's unconscious next to me. My parents, we're about to have to use the emergency exit road doors. And I was like, we're the worst emergency exit road team ever because I shake too. We're not going to make it through this.
You got a kid with a central tremor that sleep sprints. You have a kid that has fully passed out on this crashing flight. And then you have two adults that didn't notice their door was open the entire time they were in the air. You guys, I don't want to be on a plane with any of you. Except your brother. I'm fine with that. He can pass out. At that point, I'm not checking his pulse.
I feel like
anymore.
I would be your
just let
brother
him.
too, though. I would just be like, my body would just be like, I'm done. Yeah. Like,
I'm out. We
how
don't
I
need
would
any more of
just-
this.
I just check
all
out.
the time. Yeah, it's just like he's just like, I'm out. I'm down for the count. And it's like, yeah, no, I get that. So yeah, he's unconscious. We are all. And by the way, so when we start going down, the plane, it's like the top of a roller coaster right before you've let go. It's that tilt down, and it's like that for 25 minutes of just because we were heading back towards Newark, but we're trying to like go down because it's warmer down there, and so that it can release the flaps while also going fast enough that it's cooling the engines. And we're also trying to get out of the electrical storm because the electrical storm, because of lightning strikes, is heating up the air around us. So that's causing problems. We're coming back down.
This is
and man,
the worst
it felt
word
so
problem I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So Ryan's on a plane going from Newark to he's going 563 miles an hour at 14,000 feet because they're not allowed to get above that. And then both engines overheat.
How much, given that the coefficient of friction and drag is 4.44, how much time does Ryan have before he makes impact with the ground?
Before he hugs Earth. Ryan used earthquake. Like, I mean, it's just. The crazy thing is, so we are going back down. It felt like forever. And Dan, you actually mentioned it. It's very interesting to say because it goes dead silent, ironically. And we're so quiet, and we're going down, and we are coming back into Newark, and we hit the ground so hard. And the reason why is because we didn't have our engines at that point. You would rather hit the ground too hard than not make it to the runway and become friends with trees. That's not going to work out. Or buildings, even worse.
Because what's scarier than pavement? The woods.
The what? Well, or buildings. I don't want to hit a brick wall all of a sudden. Just then I really would Kool-Aid Man like I sleep spread.
There are animals in there. They'll like lick me. I don't.
Yeah,
They'll take
just
care of you. What? See, this is why we
Just
can't
Snow
ask
White.
Ben, because Ben is basically just Snow White at this point. He's like, I've coded for NASA. I sing to the birds and trees.
I love that in your version of Snow White, Dan, she codes for NASA as a hobby.
We would crash land in the woods, and then you guys wouldn't find me for 15 minutes. I would come back riding on a grizzly bear with like other friends behind me. I'm like, look, don't worry, they're here to help.
He's just like, oh, I didn't even try.
We got
to
this.
do
I
this.
scared away all the snakes that were super poisonous.
God, can you
but
imagine I tried to die on this flight? Ugh.
You're trying to kill you. You're the reason all the mess is happening. Let me
I'm just
ask
trying to
you
give
something,
up.
Ryan. Did everyone clap at the end of the?
So I will get there. So we hit the ground. We aren't done with things going wrong yet. We hit the ground so hard that our wheels, we skip the plane, and some of our wheels pop. So they pop, and we are skidding, and we are bouncing, and we are skidding, and we finally skid to the end of the runway. And then we're all taken off the plane, and we do survive.
Did you get to go down the slide?
No, we didn't get to go down the slide. I know.
Did you at that point the pilot comes on? He's like, the couple sitting at the emergency exit row, please go ahead and open the door and drop the slide. And your parents are like, oh, is that us? Are we?
What was weird? Because I landed and there were ambulances and fire trucks waiting for us. My dad goes to the end of because we got off. We were getting off, and we see the pilot, and the pilot is stepping out. His back is just covered in sweat. I mean, it looks like he went swimming. Yeah. And my dad takes him aside. It's like, hey man, thank you so much for all this you did. What happened? And that's where we get the full debrief of like this. And then my uncle is able to pull out the records. And it's one of these things that's like, it was crazy that even happened. Now, at the end of the night, my little brother.
I like to imagine your dad actually pulled the pilot aside and was like, hey man, it's kind of unprofessional. Come to work with like a dirty uniform. You look
like you haven't been sleeping. I think you need to get some rest too.
Everybody get some rest. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, but it was so. After that, they asked us. They were like, "By the way, we're going to get another plane. Do you want to fly home tonight? We could fly home tonight."
Yes.
And I actually was super down. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? It can't. My thought was like, it can't happen twice. And so my little brother though starts crying, and he's like, "I don't want to go."
It's
I was like,
lightning.
Right? Exactly. But here's the thing: my little brother starts crying, and we didn't do it. And I was like, and my thought was like, you weren't even conscious for this. You don't give an opinion.
Just yell boo, and he'll fall asleep. And you're like, all right, we're good to go.
We're good. Take him. Pick him up.
Because we forget that at this point, Ryan decided to be a comedian, so he's like, I need more material. For what we're about to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so we went. We stayed the night in Newark, and it was actually nice. And then we flew back the next day, and it was cool. And I actually learned to fly planes after that, which was dumb because I was like, I want to learn to fly planes in case that ever happens again. Like they're gonna ask if anyone back there has any opinions on the matter. That's never gonna happen. But
no, they're not gonna ask. But as a white man, it's kind of your responsibility to offer that advice no matter what.
Oh,
like if the plane starts like bouncing around, you just like it's your job to unbuckle and be like, all right, and then you come up, you knock on the door, open it up, like, hey, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but you actually pull up on the yoke to make the plane,
make a wee upward. Well, funny thing, I actually, my family, we always knock on the side of the plane before we get in the plane. Now we knock for luck, like that's just a thing that we do. It's just I don't know. You're acting like
if I see you punch my plane.
It's a light knock. It's like a little knock. You just knock on the. Yeah. Anyway, so I knock, and at one point, someone is walking in front of me. This is after the plane crash, and they go, "Why do you knock on the plane?" I was like, "Oh, my family always knocks for luck." And he just goes, and he said something to the effect of like, "That's kind of stupid." I actually made a TikTok about it, but I was like, "Okay," but I sat kind of close to that guy, and then we experienced ridiculous turbulence that flight, and I looked over and I go, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I just don't like it. And I go, don't worry, I've already been in a plane crash. I knocked for luck. We're good. And he just turned pale. He just turned so white because I was like, yeah, man, you can mess with me, but I'm going to mess with you back. Like that's fantastic.
Imagine if it wasn't even turbulence. You were just like, I want to get this guy. So you started tremoring, and you just put your hand on the side of the plane, and the plane just...
Ryan's
that
just
was my superpower. That'd be so cool. I wish I could
You're
shake...
the Flash.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
His superpower is taking down planes. Vibrating planes.
Oh my gosh. I think I know an organization that I'd be recruited to immediately. My God.
Ryan's like, no. I want the emergency seat. I know how to deal with that.
I just think it would be cool. Like if I could shake anything by me shaking and touching it, that would be so cool. That'd be the coolest superhero.
I don't think I told Dad this when I was visiting you, Ryan, last week, and we did the show in Irvine. You let me drive your car back, and so we're driving, and his car is kind of old, and it was like shaking. And at one point, I just look over at Ryan, and I was like, "Hey, do you know your steering wheel shakes, or does it just like go in tune with you?"
I love that. Like the image of me not actually having a tremor, but my car shaking and me thinking, "Man, this is weird." By the way, Ben, I found out what that is. Apparently, it's like a steering belt
column issue. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some steering belt that is having a problem. But also, yesterday I found out there's a razor blade in my car yesterday.
Razor blade.
Yeah.
In your car.
Like in my wheel is what was crazy.
And it was just fine.
Yeah, it was just super chill.
Never take it out.
I mean, well, we did take it out because it didn't puncture.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, but it was good. Anyway, that's my happy, wholesome near-death experience story time.
Yay! Story time!
Story time!
That brings us to
the silly questions.
the silly question of the week. Would you rather have finger-sized legs or leg-sized fingers?
I think well,
Oof.
no, because they couldn't all fit on my hand.
Good yes, Ryan. Way to use your thinker there. You're telling me that you don't think you could fit 5 fully sized legs on your hand?
No. No, I don't think so.
Absolutely finger-sized legs. If you say anything else, you're wrong.
I'm thinking I'm leaning in that direction, but now that Ben said anything else you're wrong, I want to be that guy. Like, here's the thing, I feel like if I could get a leg
me
here,
with your hand.
Here, and here. And then I'm just like, I think I'm a superhero at that point. I think, yeah. No, you know what? I'm going with leg-sized fingers.
Do you still have toes? Oh, no, they just the fingers would just be leg-sized.
Oh,
so
really?
The finger, cooler. Yeah, it's leg-sized fingers or finger-sized. So your fingers would just be as large as legs. You wouldn't have legs.
Could I use the finger-sized legs?
Well, they'd be on your hand.
I would do that just for the purpose of creeping people out. And
I think you're both wrong.
I do that just to reenact Deadpool.
What? You're just okay. Calm down, Dan. That was the creepiest thing I've ever envisioned. You're like the weird. You know that there's like the video of that dog. They put the spider costume in the dog, and the dog is like running down the hallway. That's what I'm picturing you,
Terrifying.
Just but with like leg-sized fingers. Like,
yeah. But we got 10.
Listen, your legs. If your legs are Megan Thok's toe thumb sized, bro, like gold, you're fine. You can't walk on them. That's basically just being a paraplegic. You just have to walk around, roll around in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, and wear a blanket over your hips. Like you're fine, dude.
Hello.
But if you have leg-sized fingers, you have to like watch out for stuff. Like you're gonna accidentally smack people in the your flicks would be devastating.
Hello?
You would snap and a whole block would be destroyed.
Yes! I'm being a superhero. Yeah!
You're not a superhero, Ryan. You're a menace to society.
That is 5
that's
5
pretty close to
legs.
the
You
same
just
thing.
flick your 5 legs kicking something.
I will say that would be a great thing to have on like a camping trip. You're like, oh, let me start the fire, and you just rub your leg fingers together for a second. Boom, fire. But other than that, if you're not living in the woods, what are you doing?
No, you're climbing buildings. You're scaling buildings.
No,
yeah.
No, you don't get
Okay,
sticky.
but on that-
I don't know how long you think legs are. I don't know how strong you think. Oh, I know yours are, but you're not scaling buildings with leg-sized fingers.
I'm absolutely going to try.
As long as the fingers don't have feet on the bottom, I'm cool.
No, because they're just fingers.
Go and grip
it's your
things.
regular fingers.
Yeah.
But with leg size.
So we're essentially having massive hands. Like these massive hands.
It's so inconvenient.
It's so cool.
Everything.
It would be so fun,
so
though.
cool.
You know that you
what
just
else
like,
is
instead
cool?
of hugging people, I just be like, hello.
Okay.
Stop it.
Yep.
Stop.
No,
You're
so
saying
cool.
the creepiest things ever, right? These
And
are
it's so cool.
Why? No.
I want to do it.
No.
I want leg-sized
No.
fingers now. I've decided.
Ryan, like, oh, it's
Yep.
cool to have legs. You know what else is
2v1.
cool to do, Ryan? Having a wheelchair that you can pop a wheelie on. That's pretty cool. That's a thing that other people will also feel is cool.
I can scale buildings with my finger hands like a superhero.
Imagine
I can
flipping
get a
the bird with a
motivational
leg-sized
speaker
finger.
roll.
Imagine how
That's very
great
true.
that would
That's
feel to pull the middle finger at someone and just be like, like this
Okay.
Oh my
giant
God.
finger
Okay.
just.
Okay.
Wow.
Shoot a gun. Shoot a gun.
I don't need a gun. I've got superhuman hands.
Yeah, I just go.
Yeah, your superhuman hands aren't going to stop a bullet, Ryan. Which
Yeah, they
I
will,
can
'cause I'm
fire
gonna-
with accuracy from my stationary chair.
I'm gonna Kevlar. I'm gonna.
You
Kevlar
literally could just go like
Kevlar
this if you have
gloves with
leg-sized
plates in
fingers.
them.
Leg-sized
Okay.
fingers, you could just go like
No.
Yeah.
and block yourself.
What was that?
I'm called
Dan?
super hands.
What are you doing?
I'm running.
You know what?
I'm running like
people
this to
shoot
save me.
Yeah.
No,
that's exactly.
no, your legs aren't that long, Dan. You're already standing on them. You won't raise your hands. They're not going to be, they're leg size. You have to put them at your waist to even be the same length as your... I don't know if you guys don't understand like anatomy or biology or just the question
run into the field
or
of battle.
life. You're wrong.
I
and
think-
weird.
So you're saying you'd prefer finger-sized legs?
Absolutely.
Dan, I think we're on the same page on this one. I think we got this.
You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably just chop them off and then get fake robot legs.
No, but you still need like the tops of them, don't you?
For what? No.
For like hip movement and things like?
Yeah, but I mean, you could just imagine a bikini. Like that's what gets cut out.
Okay, but hear me out on this. If one of your legs happens to become unusable, then you at least have a finger to
I
take
have
its place.
finger-sized legs, Dan.
I have
both of my legs are unusable.
Exactly.
I'm feeling good about
so
mine.
I'm preparing myself. If I have a whole bunch of legs ready to go, right?
Okay.
My finger will take its place.
No.
Right? I just
That's not okay.
sew it on.
You octopus. You don't get traits. You don't get to lose your leg and then just be like, let me just. I have another one. No,
Doctor, cut it off.
Okay.
See, I just
And
become
you
that
have-
guy from Monsters Inc., the boss,
But it still looks like a finger.
Mr. Waterford or whatever it is.
It still looks like a finger. You're walking on a finger and a leg. And now you have Now you have 9 leg-sized. Dan's like, how can I make me weirder?
I'd look so.
And yet it's kind of amazing.
Yeah,
Hold hands
I
with
feel like
someone.
I would look like I could
Hold
like
hands
make
with
a
someone.
dress.
Dan, you can hold hands with me. We're both gonna be
Yes,
huge
we're
hand
gonna
people.
have
It's gonna be
huge
great.
hands. And then I would make a
I knew
dress.
Ryan
I would
was
put
gay.
my hands up my
This
hips.
was all a ploy.
Yeah, I think it works for me. I don't know, man. I think it works. We got a 2v1 on this one. Audience, let us know in the comments.
Well,
section
you
and
guys are
everything.
both wrong, so.
Man, and yet it feels so right. Guys, let's move on to our next segment. It's the segment Ryan's Ridiculous History.
Yay!
We mentioned it on the last podcast.
I don't know.
We're talking about the Nakam, also known as the Jewish Avengers, which is
Love it.
it's a crazy story. So essentially, what it was 50 people who, in 1945, had just gotten out of. If I'm correct, they were all in Auschwitz. But let me check real quick.
A concentration camp.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everyone in our audience knows that Auschwitz was a concentration camp.
Well, no, I'm saying you don't have to name it. You could just say they were in a concentration camp.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they were all. Yeah. 50
Which
Holocaust
they treated
survivors.
like a think tank instead.
Yeah. And meeting survivors of Auschwitz in Romania decided to take revenge. Yeah, so it's based off a guy named Abba Kovner, who put together a team of 50 people who all survived the Holocaust, many of them in concentration camps. And the game plan was to hit a nation for a nation, which is, by the way, if you ever hear anything about
wild mission statement.
if you ever hear anything about like Jewish or like Hebrew like naming things, like honestly, I don't know who their naming department is, but it's absolutely crazy. Like Operation Wrath of God for vengeance on the 1972 Munich massacre, like wild. Anyway, just to kind of put it in perspective, like going up to the Holocaust, like it's been
the Jewish people that were just like so fed up, and they were like, not only are we going to kill people, we're gonna make our name sound like we want you dead.
Well, that's what was interesting. Part of his quote was the fact that we need to make sure that this never happens to Jews ever again. Essentially,
Right.
like we're because if you go throughout history, you get Russian pogroms, you get the Holocaust, you get multiple things with like throughout history. They're all this way. That's why it's been a diaspora for so long.
Yeah, it's like I feel like most of the logical response was like, we have to make sure this never happens to anyone ever again. And then everyone agreed on that. And then regular people were like, all right, so here's how we do it. Love. And then the Nakam were like, nation for a nation. And they said it at the same time, and everyone was like, I'm sorry, wait.
What was?
What? Go back. And they're like, no.
Yeah. It was generally known as Nakam. The organization used the Hebrew name Din, which just means judgment. Which is so it's even
wild.
It's even more like these guys were not messing around. Abacovner puts together this group of 50. They're backed by a group called the Jewish Brigade, which was actually a Jewish group that was formed in the British military that was used to fight the Nazis, because they had a lot more skin in the game. And so they're doing all these things. They're able to get money and things like that. The plan A was to kill 6 million Germans by poisoning the water supply. Indiscriminately, just poison water supply, kill all of them.
So it's very Scarecrow meets Thanos kind of thing.
Very much so. Yeah, actually, very much so. Yeah, they were going to take out as many people as they possibly could. However, the British managed to intercept Abacovner before he could, and they actually did have people in place at German water supply places to be able, and they were specifically going to hit the water supply of Nuremberg because it was a notorious Nazi stronghold. However, something important to remember, not everybody that lived under the Nazis were Nazis, and man, there was a lot going on that was you could either be one or you could be boink, bad. And so essentially he gets caught while he's going, it's essentially taking it on a boat, all this poison, it was arsenic, and so he threw it overboard. In that moment, they moved to plan B, which was to poison a whole bunch of SS prisoners of war. By the way, not prisoners of war that were captured by the SS. They weren't used to be SS. They were prisoners of war now in American custody. And so they were going to poison a whole bunch of loaves of bread. They did, by the way. They successfully did. It wasn't strong enough poison, though, so it made 2,000 people sick, but they didn't die. Which, honestly, I hate having, gastrointestinal problems. So, I at least there was a little bit of revenge. None of them died.
So they set out to kill 6 million Germans. Mm-hmm. And what they ended up doing was giving 2,000 an upset tummy.
Aggressive diarrhea is what I think.
Okay. Oh. They're just thank God Pepto-Bismol isn't around yet because this is going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. It's interesting that the direct quote is proportional revenge, as they were going for the German quote. The act should be shocking. The Germans should know that after Auschwitz, there can be no return to normality. That was the hardcore thing that they wanted to do. And then at the end, they ended up getting caught by the British. The British actually, I believe, handed them over to the Germans, who the Germans, by the way, pardoned them under unusual circumstances. I think it's exceptional. Yeah, unusual circumstances. The Germans were like, we get it.
I love how that's just a category they had ready. There was normal circumstances, weird You guys are fine. Look, we made this one thing.
The circumstance. We did kill.
We get
6 million. Oh,
6 million people. Yeah, and so they tried to get revenge. And you know what? I think that honestly, coming from a Jewish perspective, I'm really thankful that they didn't succeed because if you had killed 6 million people indiscriminately, that's.
Well,
it's tough.
It just doesn't make it right? It
exactly.
Doesn't make
It's an eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do believe that the people that needed to be punished deserve to be punished. But at that point, it's when they poisoned the SS guards. It's hold on, you're closer. Yeah. Still wrong, but you're closer.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason they really got pardoned was because they're oh, you just targeted actual murderers.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Oops.
The worst of the worst. Yeah, it was in Langwasser internment camp, and they made 2,000 of them sick. But after that, they went home, and they pretty much many of their operatives joined different sorts of Israeli groups after that. But
sure,
yeah, it was that was essentially the end.
So their name is it translates to English as judgment.
Yeah,
and then we call them the Jewish Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have just the most badass quotes
of all time. Yeah.
This is that's up there. Some of those quotes are up there for me as the quotes I enjoy from history the most is that, and then right above them is anything John Brown ever said when he was killing slave owners.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have you heard I don't know about you what's your favorite? Mine has got to be I want to say it's Chesty Puller that said it. But it might have been someone else that essentially they were surrounded in Korea. And he goes, they're in front of us, they're behind us, they're to our left and to our right. Good. Now they've got no place to run. And it's what did you just say?
That's a good one. My favorite is John Brown. After his children had been kidnapped and he took a group of 40 men to fight off an army of 200, did it successfully and burned their entire down to the ground. As he was walking away with the fire burning in the background, he turned to someone and just said, God sees it and then continues walking. It is the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. John Brown is just like a full story of being a badass and then saying the quotes to back it up. Like on his like hanging day on the gallows, they asked him if he had if he wanted an announcement when they were about to cut the rope, and he said it wouldn't make a difference. Just straight face with the noose around his neck, just goes, it won't matter. And they're like, okay. All right.
I have one as well. This is not a random, but this is just a random one. But there was a missionary in my mission whose great aunt or something like that was her entire family were killed. They were Jews. She became a high-level escort / prostitute for Nazi officials. She was Dutch.
Yeah.
She was Dutch, and she, maybe I think she's pretty popular. But yeah, he was like a direct descendant of her, or just it was her. His
She's
aunt.
Black Widow.
Basically, what ended up happening was that as she ended up killing a whole bunch of Nazi officials, and when they were going to execute her, they asked her if she had any last words, and she said, "Dutch men are better." And then they shot her or something. I can't remember, but that was those were her final words. So yeah, I think that's pretty awesome.
So okay, we just have a few new story times for you, Ryan. We have John Brown. We have that Dutch woman whose name
I love her. She's amazing. Yeah,
and then another one that I just remembered, Wenceslao Magello. He's the only man to survive execution by firing line.
Wait, is that the guy in Mexico?
Panchovia.
Yeah, it was the guy in Mexico.
And he got shot. He got shot 9 times, and then once more in the head, and he just crawled away.
And they were like, "You're good." They didn't chase back. Yeah, I also want to talk about
his nickname now is like
the shot one or something like that.
The shot one.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
It's crazy. Also, I definitely want to talk about Goldemir and the Operation Wrath of God, which is the revenge for the 1972 like Munich massacre. It's crazy. It's like the whole thing is just whoa. But yeah, that's a fun one.
And that brings us out of Ryan's ridiculous
history. It brings me so much joy. Gosh, I love history.
And history loves you.
I hope so.
And that brings us to our next segment. A much lighter note. Dan's LGBTQs
for the straights.
For the straights.
I love it. It's a lighter note. Yeah, we were just talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Not many things are darker notes.
So for this week's, I figured I'd actually just like leave it to people on my Twitter to actually ask you a lot of questions. Okay. I think it's better that way. So I got a whole bunch of people that have submitted questions, and we're just going to do like kind of from now on, I feel like a little bit of a speed round. And if people can't come up with questions, I'll come up with them myself. But we have some good ones today. So audience submitted questions. The gays have been blessed with tons of queer icons, from Gaga to Mercury to Siwa. Who do the straights have? Joe Rogan, Elon Musk? Give us examples of straight icons.
What do you think?
John Brown, obviously.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, are we talking John Brown? He's the guy I just talked about. He was the one that said God sees it while he burned down a slave town.
Sorry, I forgot the name.
Well, okay, so here's there's 2 distinctions because you have like when you're talking about gay icons, you're like, these people are pioneers of pride and being happy in their own skin. So the actual flip coin of that should be straight icons, men or women who are just pioneers of being straight.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I don't know if that's actually because we don't have
they exist. They're just not my icons.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely, Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Absolutely, Joe
Rogan.
What's
that guy's name? Dan Bilzerian is a straight icon.
Yeah, Dan Bilzerian.
So I guess you're talking like aggressively straight dudes.
Or women. Aggressively straight men. So, like, in, we can go politics. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene is a straight women for straight women. We have Lauren Boebert is someone who thinks he should be but isn't. Ben Shapiro.
I think we're talking about like just like the icons that we like that are straight, because I feel like that's the better thing that we're like.
If we want to talk about icons that are straight that we like, that should be who men look at as like, this is what you should try to
Calvin
be.
Coolidge.
Calvin. Oh, what? Not what I was gonna say.
I just like him because he was just so like, people constantly tried to mess with him while he was in office, and he was known as Quiet Cal because he would say very few things. And at one point, someone comes up to him at dinner and goes, "The person next to me has bet me like $500, which back then was crazy, that I can't get you to say more than like 3 words to me." And he just looks at her and goes, "You lose." And it was like, what? That's the type of dude?
Okay, I'll allow that. I was gonna say Paul Rudd.
Absolutely.
Oh yes, yeah.
Melissa McCarthy, I love her so much. She brings me
Keanu
so much
Reeves.
joy. Keanu Reeves,
love
yes.
that. Love that.
Yeah.
So there's some good straight icons.
Yeah, I think John Brown is my
they're
number
not necessarily
one.
straight icons, but people that are straight that are iconic.
That are good
That's
role
that.
models for
Yes,
men.
that should be
Absolutely.
considered the straight icon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the
But-
straight icon would be like Paul Rudd or be like Steve Carell. And I don't mean from The Office,
Sure.
I'm not an Office stan, but I
watched
just like...
He's like
Foxcatcher
who he
for the
is.
first time
Mhm.
the other
What is it?
weekend. Insane.
Foxcatcher?
Steve Carell is great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Next question. How do you define pride?
Like, as a general term or as in gay pride for like this
Gay
month?
pride. Gay pride.
Okay, cool. I don't know. I think it's.
I'll let
if
Ryan tackle this one since people just assume he is anyway.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite DM, and I told Ben about this, and it's just pretty much thanks for being sort of gay was how it started. Do you understand how like where my life is? But at this point, from what I would understand, it's essentially being proud of being out. You know what I mean? Essentially, pride in who you are, which I think is which is nice. You know,
Yeah,
that's just
it's awesome. Feeding off of that question, during Pride Month, how do you show your support for your LGBTQ plus friends and family?
I would like to tackle this one first because I think the thing is that it shouldn't be based on month. You know what I mean? I should be loving those people regardless.
Yes.
And so I don't, that's what kind of bothers me about the whole month thing is it's like, for this month, we're going to do it. And it's like, no, I'm going to love you the same way
Always.
the whole time.
Yeah.
That's my point of view on that is like, I just want you to feel loved all the time.
Yeah.
I am in the same boat as far as like I don't change for Pride Month specifically. My friends know who I am and where I stand. But this is going to sound like a plug, but it's not. Like every month, I just, starting with last month, I decided to donate a small percentage, or not a small percentage, I guess, but a certain percentage of my monthly income towards charitable projects. And this month I'm doing the Trevor Project, which, if you don't know, is it's an organization that provides crisis intervention and suicide prevention resources for LGBTQ youth under 25.
Love it.
It's based off of the movie, the Trevor Project.
Yep. It's fantastic.
So if you want to watch a movie, you could. Call it
yes,
Trevor
watch the
Project, but-
movie.
Yeah,
And then,
so that's kind of my thing, how I'm doing it.
love it. Love it. And then the final question that I have on a lighter note. What purpose do truck nuts serve?
Oh, that's not even a straight thing. That's a redneck thing. Hold on. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't know. I've seen a
happiness.
few straight people with truck nuts.
No, I mean,
Okay.
don't get me wrong. It's all straight
It's all
people.
straight people.
But it is like, but it's also a very, actually, that's not necessarily true. I've actually seen,
Let
it's a
me-
redneck thing. Because
I've seen them in Utah, and I'm always just like,
Let me answer your question with a question. What purpose do parades serve?
to show that you're there, that you're present.
That's
To
actually,
show the world who you are.
Great.
Truck nuts.
We
Buy
love
one
it.
today.
We love it. And that is my segment for LGBTQs for the straights this week.
Yay!
Yay! Ben, what's in the news for us today?
Welcome to Ben's Breaking News.
bing. That was mine.
Is that
I'm
what you
sorry.
think a breaking news signal?
Really happy breaking news.
Well, I have some bad news for you on that one.
Oh,
Pun intended, because I intend my puns.
Nice.
All right, here we go. We got 3 headlines this week. The FDA grants historic approval to Alzheimer's drug despite controversy over trial results. Given the recent belief about the COVID vaccine, the FDA apparently is just like, well, people don't trust us anyway, might as well.
Oh my gosh.
I find it a little rude that they've used the word history in an announcement about Alzheimer's like they'll know. That's messed up. Could have hired a copywriter for that one. I just can't wait for the new medication commercials that just show an old man remembering literally anything, and then the voiceover is like, if you have Alzheimer's, ask your doctor if this is right for you. And then a whole bunch of people making appointments with their doctors and totally forgetting why.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I know,
The
right?
visual of that commercial would be
Fantastic.
I know who I am.
You know what it would be? Is it's an old couple. It's a man and a woman going on a picnic, and they're setting stuff up, and the woman goes, hey, honey, did you remember the mayo? And he pulls it out and goes, yes, I did. And then ask your doctor if blah, blah, blah is right for you.
So, wow.
Oh, I asked Ryan before the podcast if I was allowed to make fun of people with Alzheimer's. And I did anyway. So
I was like,
Right?
I thought you were gonna
I
say,
did
'cause
not get permission for this.
I literally 2 days ago like lost someone to Alzheimer's, and I was like, "Don't worry, buddy. Like, it's my family's response was to make a joke immediately." So like, I don't know. Yeah.
This isn't going to be the thing that makes me canceled. I've said way worse on this podcast.
Yes, yeah.
That's not even top 10.
We have 14 episodes of Ben. Yeah.
Getting
14.
very close. Yeah.
There's the line. There he is.
All right, here's the next head. Has not our air pollution problem. You're trying to tell me that an introduction of an airborne virus hasn't cleaned our air? No. What? Come on.
Jeez.
Apparently, greenhouse gases have dropped over the past year, but carbon dioxide in the air has continued to increase. And luckily for everyone, I have a solution. Stop breathing. If we could all just do that.
That
There you
actually
go.
is super cool.
Hold it for like 10 minutes. Keep going.
And this is where we're gonna lose Dan on the podcast.
Dan just passes out. He's like, for the good of humanity.
Wait, is the plane going down? And then he's unconscious. Like, there.
I did read the article, and the article does specify that this is the highest levels, quote, since accurate measurements began 63 years ago. I found it really interesting that they didn't say measurements began 63 years ago. They just said accurate measurements began then. I just want to know what measurements were like before that. Like, I'm just imagining some guy named like Craig. He walks outside, takes a sniff, and just goes, yeah, feels real carbony today. And they're like, oh, write that down. Write that down.
Get it.
Last headline. Mega drought takes dramatic toll on Colorado River system that provides water to 40 million people. According to the latest U.S. drought monitor map, large areas of the Southwest are, quote, exceptionally dry. Which is interesting, because up to this point, I had no idea where Ben Shapiro's wife lived.
Dude's got so many up.
That's
funny.
Jokes
That's a
about
good
Ben
one.
Shapiro this
I enjoy
episode. That little
You're coming for his neck, bro.
that tiny, scrawny stick neck of his. All right, that is all I have for Ben's breaking news.
Oh no!
And that brings us to our final section of the cast, audience submissions.
I love it.
Again, we have our 10 audience submissions this week. If you sent us a submission that did not make it on this episode of the podcast, do not worry. We are going to do a full episode of just audience submissions once a month. If you sign up for our Patreon, you are a patron. You get to see us do that episode. If you are a VIP patron, you get to watch us do it live. So sign up for the Patreon for those things. But here are the questions for the rest of you.
Absolutely. Our first question is from Alex R. Ben, do you know what Hetalia is? It's an anime. Your roundtable discussions remind me of it. Love the podcast, guys. You're awesome. Thanks, Alex R.
I did not know what Hetalia was before I started doing the table, and I still have never seen it, but I do get a lot of people that tell me it reminds them of Hetalia.
Oh, okay.
Nate, that's cool.
So
in
really.
what do you know in what way? Is it just like formatting or?
I guess Hetalia is basically the characters are different countries.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just like the different countries interacting. So I've never seen an episode, but that's just what has been described to me. So,
okay. So cool. Anne B says, "Hi guys, I saw this question and thought it would be fun for the podcast. You're on your first date with someone and they tell you the name of their favorite book. You immediately leave. What was the book?"
I know mine.
say it.
Mein Kampf. Like, that would easily be like, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Fair.
That's an
point.
easy one. For me, yeah.
I was just going to say if they talk about books, I'm leaving.
You know what is... yeah. I read a book in high school called Equus. And if anyone ever tells you that that's their favorite book, don't ever hang out with them. It's a bad book.
Yo, if someone tells me on a first date what their favorite book is, I'm not going to... There's no second date.
There's no second date. It's like,
I didn't ask.
Wait,
I know I didn't ask. I'm not going to.
I know I wouldn't ask. Am I the only one that would have been like, okay, yeah, second date for sure?
Well, the only reason that I wouldn't
do
is because I know I'm not, like, I don't read books, and I don't want someone to be better than me in the relationship. So I'm just...
Yeah. And I can't read.
Nobody can write code for NASA, but he can't read.
You don't need to know English for that.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Ethan. If a cassowary and a lion had a fight, which one would win?
So my question is, male lion or female lion?
My question is, what the hell is a cassowary?
Yeah,
You've never seen a cassowary?
Yeah,
these are big murder birds.
Big murder birds.
I'm not.
Cassowaries.
They are cassowaries.
We are cassowaries.
Cassowaries.
Here, I'm gonna put it in chat.
Oh, I have
Cassowaries.
seen and heard about this. So they're deadly.
They're tallest.
Are they more
second-heaviest
deadly
living
than
bird.
an ostrich?
Only smaller than an ostrich and an emu. The only two species are represented in the northern cassowary and the dwarf cassowary, but we're talking about the northern one because these
Okay,
things are
question.
Yeah?
I'm very well aware that a timely and placely kick by an ostrich is enough to potentially kill a lion. Does a cassowary have that same power?
I do believe so. Let's see newtons of force for joules of force for newtons. Joules?
Yeah.
Joules. Force of a cassowary kick. If I'm correct, they also, like, their beaks are sharp and they beat the snot out of people. Like, around 30 miles an hour, they're hauling. Top of its head made of sponge. Wait, how do cassowaries fight?
They fight like giraffes. They just swing their necks around.
Yeah, how do cassowaries kill? I'm thinking they actually, like, stab. Yeah, the cassowary has been known to kill human beings while slashing blows of its feet as the innermost of its three toes bear a long dagger-like nail.
It's a velociraptor?
It's a velociraptor. Yeah.
Wow.
Sprinting as fast as 31 miles an hour. Yeah.
Holding a knife. Just a cassowary running around a backyard. What is that? A knife! No!
Cassowary, no! They also might pack a barge like headbutt, but yeah, normally they kick. Yeah, these things, I don't know, I think it'd be a pretty fair fight. Honestly, the reason I ask male or female lion is because apparently female lions are the better hunters, and so that's why I want to know, like,
male lions just sleep all day. The female lions do everything.
They're so cute and fluffy, though.
And, like, I fully understand that cassowaries have sharp, like, velociraptor claws, one each on each foot, right? However, I would like to counter that by saying lions have 20 knives. Just all of them have 20 knives in their murder mittens.
That's true. But I'm curious about strike distance.
Dagger. Well, okay. A lion is much bigger than a cassowary.
But a cassowary's legs might be long enough to keep a lion at bay.
I don't know. I'd argue that.
If you're running, you can't velocislash.
Let me.
Yeah, but you don't have to be. Oh, they're pretty big. 5'2" to 5 to 6 foot is the female head and body.
Yeah,
and they weigh 280 pounds.
Ostriches. They're smaller than ostriches and emus. And the only way that emus and ostriches get like the jump on lions is by actually surprising them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with then. I go with the lion. I think a female lion would win. I think a male lion would have more tough.
I think it also depends on the pride, because I agree with Ryan in
One-on-one
saying
match.
a lion's temperament. If they feel like they could potentially lose by themselves, they won't get involved. But if it's a pride of lions, a small pride, 6.
You think a cassowary is looking at a lion and be like, oh, yeah, no, I can take it.
He's just sitting there going, 1v1, bro! 1v1 me! Let's do it Rust, snipers only.
Lions are like normal predators, right? Lions are like, I'll take you out. A cassowary is like that crazy person who like smashes their head through a window before fighting you, right? Like they're the type of person that's like, I am crazy and I'm going to go insane on you. Like that's the kind of
lion is a lion and I'm a cassowary. Who would win in a fight between me and Ryan? Audience?
We should say this. Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather yesterday. I mean,
that wasn't even a fight. Oh my gosh.
True.
But what a waste of time.
We could do a little exhibition fight between you two. That'd be fun. The first
I'd absolutely box. I'd do a boxing round and an MMA round with Ryan.
Man, MMA rounds.
Please, can we do this?
It's gonna hurt.
I love a hexagon.
He's got the size on me. He's got a big.
Nice.
You've got size and reach.
Yeah, no, I definitely have size and reach, but also unfortunately, I don't have weight, or I don't think I've got much weight on you.
How much do you weigh?
Like 145 to 150 pounds, depending on the day.
Yeah, you got like 25 pounds on me, dude.
Okay, yeah, I'm
That's
also
nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll just.
Yeah,
I'll be the ring girl.
I'll
be the ring girl. Round 3.
I would do
love
it, absolutely.
As long as Dan gets to be the card girl, absolutely.
Place your bets, guys. Place your bets. We'll set this up.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious.
Cool.
All right, our next question is from Absolutely Not, because they refused to tell us their name, and we love them, so we keep throwing the questions on here. Good evening, Dan, Ben, and Ryan. We've just finished the podcast from 529. We're very happy you're enjoying our challenges. We have a good time devising them. So let's see. I love that there's a group that does
there's
this.
a group that's like...
And they're good challenges.
They are. Imitation game, bonus user prop. Ryan, I got 2 points in third place imitations, plus a consolation prize because he couldn't leave his chair. Next time wear pants, Ryan. Hey, I'm not wearing pants right now, so ha!
Can't believe you.
Anyway, Dan got 3 points. Second place for imitations, plus 1 bonus point for sheer resourcefulness and the use of pajama represent the flannel shirt. And Ben got 5 points. First place for imitations. We enjoyed them we played them twice, plus 2 bonus points for using 2 different props. Total points after imitation round is Ryan 6, Dan 11, Ben 12. Remote control use and misuse. I got first place and 5 points for a happy, wholesome answer, plus 2 for very realistic misuse of remote. Dan got 3 second place answer, plus 1 bonus point for truly creepy and yet strangely tidy misuse of remote. Ben got 1 point, third place, because you would use it for work.
You're
gross.
welcome.
Come on, you couldn't cause chaos. You would nap. Anyway, total points.
I absolutely would nap right now.
I would.
And if you say anything different, you're absolutely wrong.
By the way, total points after remote round: Ryan 11, Dan 14, Ben 13. Ready for your next challenge? Here we go. In episode 12, you were answering a question about college courses, and we thought, what would each of you teach if you were college professors? Your challenge this week is to propose a class, real or imagined, for each of your fellow podcasters to teach. We propose for each other?
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Bonus points if you give 2 to 3 minutes of a lecture on the topic proposed for your podmates. If Dan, for example, if Dan proposed to Ben teach a course on alligator husbandry, Ben would get bonus points if he gave a short lecture. Good luck. Do we do it?
Okay, so question. Do we want to do it right now on the spot, or do we want to suggest courses for, like, one for Ryan, one for Dan, so on and so forth, and then actually put together a short course and then present it?
I think that's the move. I think that's the move.
That's the play, for sure. So what?
I already know what I want Dan to teach.
What do you want Dan to teach?
What do you want me to teach?
You give it to Dan. Dan will give it to me. I'll give it to you.
I want Dan to teach a course on how to pick up women.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
By the way, I'm gonna take notes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Perfect. Perfect.
Dan, what would you have me teach?
What would I have?
Okay,
a few things are coming into my head, but I'm like, should I?
You can. You can.
I want you to teach the reasons. Oh, I want you to teach a fashion class and tell us why flannel is bad.
I can do that. I can absolutely. Okay, I could definitely do that. Flannel is bad.
It could be good or bad, but you have to present and tell us why it's a fashionable item.
A fashion class about flannel.
Yes. Give us the full effect. Tell us why flannel is the mood.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Now I'm trying to think, because I was gonna do a nice one for Ben, but now I don't. Now since we're all messing with each other, I kind of want to. And Dan, I'll take some input on it, because my gut reaction was which animal from which what are the deadliest animals from each state, and how would they rank up against an alligator?
That was your first one?
I think that
was my first one. That was my first thought.
Okay, that's not a bad one.
No. I kind of, because I can't wait to see, like, do you guys
It
ever
would
watch?
come down to the Alaskan Kodiak bear versus a mother gator protecting her young.
Ooh.
I want Ben to teach an anatomy class on his own body and why he's so good at everything, and take us through his bodily functions.
That would get me canceled.
Oh, that's probably true. Actually, I want Ben to do a course. I'm going to fuse the two. I want Ben to do a course on the different anatomy between different people based on their states, and being like Vermont has like mostly maple syrup in their blood, and then like how would they all fight Florida man? That's what I want.
How do they stack up against
Just to
Florida
make
man?
sure that I'm fully understanding the assignment here, you want me to present to you the anatomy of Americans by state,
Yes,
and how that would how that function would help them fight off a Florida man.
To shorten that, though, so that you're not doing 51 different states,
Yes.
I want you to do Utah and Missouri. How would
Just
those individuals...
Utah and Missouri?
for your two questions, Utah, Missouri, and I want you to have another one that's just
like a bonus one, yeah.
Like California or Alaska.
What's a state that could potentially go against Florida? Texas. I want to know... I don't know.
Louisiana.
That's the only one that comes into mind where I'm like...
Indiana. I love that you said it with such confidence.
No,
Louisiana.
Louisiana, yes, okay. Louisiana.
Okay, yeah, throw in Louisiana.
The anatomy of a Utahn, a Missourian, how do you spell Missorian, and a Louisianian.
Louisianian.
A Louisianian.
And how, I don't even know if that's what they go by.
Louisiana.
It's a Louisianan.
Louisiana.
And how that would help them in a fight against a Florida man. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. That's your course.
Okay.
I love
All
it
right.
so much.
Okay.
I love it.
Yo, don't be surprised if I come in next week with a PowerPoint.
No, I'm coming in
no,
with
that's
PowerPoint.
ideal.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Okay.
We're ideally getting PowerPoints. Okay. Next.
Hannah says, "Hi guys, just wanted to say thank you for reading my question on the podcast. Literally made my whole week. Ryan, what would be one Squishmallow you would pick for Dan and Ben?"
I love you, Hannah. I love you so much for this. So Squishmallows. Definitely a gator one for Ben. And except I'd give it little cat ears so that it's a swamp cat. I just think that would be cute.
I have.
You have cat ears?
No, I just have a regular albino.
Yeah.
Oh.
But see, Squishmallows are a little more they're even squishier than that. And so I would
a
definitely
reptile, Ryan.
Maybe
doesn't squish.
Ryan's presentation should be on Squishmallows.
I do love them. I love them.
What do
so
you think?
much.
What do you
easy
think?
for
That, yeah.
That'd be too easy for him.
I could do fashion and Squishmallows. Yeah, I'm just gonna add
Include
Squishmallows.
that. Yeah,
into
just
a whole
include
Combine them.
Squishmallows into it.
I am gonna combine.
Fashion with Squishmallows.
Dude,
And then a
Squishmallow-
fashion show.
Yeah,
I wish. Oh,
it's a
Serve
fashion
us a
class.
look. Serve us a look, sis.
Well,
It's a
I-
fashion class given that one of your accessories must be a Squishmallow.
I love that so
Oh.
much. Also, for Dan, I'd probably pick. I almost said something really dumb, and it would have gotten a lot of laughs of just like I was like, because my very first thought was like a really soft, like nice, because they come in like really big sizes, like the panda bear, and then I realized that like saying Dan, you'd be a bear is not like that's not that was
Ryan,
not.
it is Pride Month. You can't hate women and the gays.
I don't even know. It's just support.
Okay, but you wouldn't be the first person to like. I have been told multiple times that I am literally Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda. Oh
so many people
God.
say I'm like a panda, and I have no idea what that means. It's like,
I think it just
it
means
means
you're
you're
sexually
nice.
inactive. You know.
I think it just means that you're lovable. Like everybody loves pandas.
Panda.
If it makes you feel any better, Jack Black is a straight icon.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that too. That part.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
But yeah,
Love
so that's what I'd give you guys because it just
Perfect.
brings me joy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Next one presented by Holly. Thanks for doing these podcasts. They're always funny and interesting. Question: if your life was a movie, what would the soundtrack be like?
Ooh, I've thought about this a lot.
Okay.
Well, because
Why?
I want to
No,
make a
I don't
movie
care.
one day.
Just tell
I
me.
have a movie.
Oh, right.
Well, I
okay.
think of movies like the way I write scripts is I put it to music beforehand. So if
Sure.
I'm thinking of a scene, I like find the right song for it, and then I like go from there. But
Okay.
it would be a lot of. Do you guys remember Bauer, the guy who created Harlem Shake?
Excuse me.
I remember
Yes.
the Harlem Shake.
Yeah, that's what I
the
remember.
Harlem Shake challenge. So the artist
Yeah.
Bauer, he has incredible music. I would put a lot of it to him, MIA, and Missy Elliott, and that's exclusively what it would be.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Get your freak on.
I love that so much.
Ryan, do you have any ideas?
Oh, absolutely. My soundtrack to my life currently is AJR and the reason why is because they're described as like a happy panic attack. And like a lot of their things of like 100 bad days makes 100 good stories, like way less sad. Like all these things are very much like huge parts of like my life. And so I was like, wow. And honestly, sometimes I'm like, okay, where are you guys? But so it's very relatable for me. And so that's why I'd keep AJR. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Ben?
I would want
Through the fires and
Weird
flames.
Al Yankovic.
Yes.
I'm not done. I would want Weird Al Yankovic doing actual covers to the songs, not parodies.
Okay.
I want him to do like acoustic covers of popular songs, and people would be like, "Oh, this is good. Who is Weird Al? When? Why?" I have more questions, and that's what I want. I want people to have more questions after they learn more about me.
I love it.
Oh, I love that so much. That makes my heart happy. Our next question is from Courtney W. Hey, I love the podcast. Thanks, Courtney. I refresh all the pages on Saturday mornings until it is posted. I saw Ben and Ryan on a live today, and they were discussing rentals in LA. Feels like HGTV missed an opportunity. Oh, I wish. That would have been so much fun. If each of you could be part of a reality TV show, what would it be and why? Thanks so much and have a fabulous week. I'd want to be on Wipeout I think it'd be fun.
Wipeout would be fun.
Do you guys want to be on Wipeout?
Wait, what? Do you have a
I would love to be on Wipeout.
I got a casting email from Wipeout. Do you want to? Should we all apply?
Yes!
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 Can we do
Wait,
that?
can we all go
Dan?
together? Can the podcast go together?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that.
Yeah!
I
Yes!
don't think can we do teams of 3?
Yeah, I'm sure if we like include in the email like, TikTok following. and
I
everything.
would love to be on
Dude.
Wipeout.
I would love to. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do Wipeout. Okay,
Let's do Wipeout. Oh my gosh.
Let's apply. I would want to do a gay bachelor just to see what that effect would be like, because I've definitely done the straight
Okay.
bachelor effect already, right? Like I've been on
Yeah.
Covers Most Eligible. I'd like to know what a gay dating show feels like. I just have never seen that before, so I don't know, something like that. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
I would like to be on.
Cops.
There's a few. I don't know. I have to,
Man steals alligator and runs away. Ah! Like,
and then afterward, he was like, he just wanted to have fun. That's what he said.
No, you know what I want to be? I want to be the guy who confronts. What is it like? What is it? What
Chris
would you do?
Hansen?
No, well, that's a whole.
What would you do?
I don't know if I want to be that serious, but what would you do? I would love to like confront people and be like, "You're a bad person." That's how I feel about it.
That's so sassy.
Okay, so Wipeout is one. I would love to be on. I know it's not exactly like a reality TV show, but I would love to be on American Ninja Warrior
Yeah.
just to see.
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
far can this?
I would like
lunacy
to go
take?
just to fail on live, just to because I know I would, but I'd like to see how far I get into
See,
the actual thing.
Here's the thing. I feel like
but the difference between me and you, Ben, is that I would definitely fail. I feel like you would just dominate out of nowhere. And just
What do you mean out of nowhere? How about out of here? Like, that's where you dominate.
I like. I know it's a wildly difficult course, and the odds of literally anyone completing it are like close to nil. They never have any winners. But there's still a part of me that very confidently is like, yeah, no, I can do that. With no second thought. And I want to be on it, just see how far I'd make. There's probably a couple. I think I probably would lose at like the warped wall just because I'm not tall enough to reach it.
That's what I was thinking. Is that's where you'd have a problem with. But if it was made like capable for your height range, I feel like you'd crush it. You know?
There's also at a certain point in my military career, I could dunk. I couldn't like hold the ball by any means, but I could get like my wrist to hit the rim.
You might just what are you springy? What
No, we're just gonna go right past
Inspector
it.
Gadget. Da, 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 like
White man
And the
can
third
jump.
one, the third one that I'd like to be on is just Survivor.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, hands down. I would love to
Absolutely.
just go cause drama on an island. Like, that's me. That's what I want to do. Yeah, you just changed my mind. I want that.
Ben, I'd love it because I would love to do Survivor. Mostly, I'd like to do Survivor with you because by the end of it, it's like, yeah, we've actually got solar panels up on the roof, and it's actually we made some goals. Like, what happened? What, like,
I wish there was a Survivor with just TikTok influencers to see if we are like as nice and fun as we all are like over our TikTok social medias, or if we cause like real drama between each other.
Yeah, I've met Ryan officially now, and he's exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't. I'm me.
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
right. I'm me. I'm pretty much.
Yeah, celebrate.
I don't have the intelligence or effort to pretend to be someone else. You know what I mean? Like that's just the truth.
Fun.
All right. What's our next question?
Yes. Hey guys from Cassidy G. Seriously, love all your content both on TikTok and on the podcast. I've got 2 questions for you. Feel free to answer one or the other or both. What's your favorite style of potato? Potato chips, French fries. Be specific if you choose this one. Mashed, baked, etc.
Okay, sure. I have an answer.
Okay.
It's
Got it, hit it.
specifically Cape Cod kettle cooked potato chips with sea salt.
I haven't had those, but they sound great.
They're I think they're only on the East Coast because they're from Cape Cod in the Northeast. They don't have them in California because I looked at in a Ralph's, whatever that is.
It's a grocery store.
In a Trader Joe's. I love roast potatoes. They don't have them here as part of the Sunday lunch. Some people do, but they roast them like
Roast
in the
potatoes?
pan. Yeah, so what
Okay.
we do with roast potatoes back home is we literally so you put them in the beef and you kind of let them like boil in the beef juices.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you take them out, you like grate them with a fork, or you just like go over the surface with a fork, and then you just
Yeah.
put them in deep fried oil. Or just in oil to deep fry.
Okay.
And
pretty fire.
basically you're just eating a full deep fried potato, but they're great with roast beef and
You
gravy.
desperately need to visit the South.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly they have it, but yeah, they don't have it here in
I mean,
Utah.
it's like a normal thing, but if you just went to like a diner and they're like, we have baked potatoes, and you were like, actually, can I get a deep fried roasted potato? They'd be like, yeah, I guess for sure.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely would. Dude, I'm gonna go with French fries, specifically crinkle cut or steak fries, because I like loaded fries. I think they're so good. Like just throwing some like pulled pork, some beef on it, add some sauces, like some
No.
cheese, like queso.
No.
If you guys-
Queso barbecue.
Too much potato, not enough fry.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I'm actually the reverse. I like the more potato than fry. Yeah.
That's the whole point of fries.
Yeah, but they're thick.
I like to be honest with you, my ideal is crispy on the outside, super soft on the inside. So there's only been
That's
one
how
restaurant
home
that's
fries
done
go.
it very well before.
Okay, I have a second answer to this.
Yeah.
My general answer is Cape Cod kettle cooked potato chips with sea salt in them. My second answer, very specifically, the best potato meal that I've ever had in my life was at an Italian restaurant in Vegas. I ordered, it was rosemary, garlic, roasted potatoes with a lamb demi-glaze.
That sounds incredible.
And it was the best. It was better than the actual like entree. And I was like, can I just get more of these?
Can I have that forever?
It was amazing.
That sounded,
Perfect.
that sounded amazing.
I love it. Second question that they have, Cassidy has, is if you were to have any fellow TikTok creators on the podcast, who would you want on? I love the episode with Beerbong John. Also, I think an episode with Lucas T. Arnold would be hilarious. Anyway, keep spreading joy and making people laugh. So which TikTokers would you bring on?
So yeah, we're going to have Lucas on at some point. I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
We're having Oddity.
Oddity draws. Yeah, Audrey.
Yeah.
Ooh,
She's fantastic.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
She's so
So
great.
I think we each pick one.
I'd probably pick Brandon Ferris. I love
I was
him.
expecting you to say Wayne Brady.
I don't consider him a TikToker. I would consider him a god.
no.
Okay, let's not debase him by pretending he does the things that we do.
He is a creator.
Dude, if
On
we get
TikTok?
Wayne Brady on this podcast, I'd
But
handle it cool because I know how to respond around people. But in my head, I'd be going,
you would lose it.
"This is the greatest moment of my life."
Well, I mean, the thing is, we are not TikTok creators. We are comedians who use TikTok. So that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'd go with... this is just a weird design that I have. There's this... I don't know how they identify, but her name is Madozilla, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Incredible. I don't know why her energy is so great, but she is just like everything I want to be in a human being. And yeah, Madozilla. She has no idea who I am either. So I don't know if there's a way to contact her and get her on here, but yeah, she'd be pretty
Well, you
great.
kind of have this big platform that I bet that you could make a video about.
Yeah, no, I would hate
That
if
part
you were
too.
just to be like,
Yeah.
wow, I have millions of followers on the same app. Ooh, crazy.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. Ben?
I want Lawrence
that.
the band.
What? You know?
Shut up. Let me have this.
Okay.
Moving on. Next question is from Kalani. Hey, I just listened to you guys answer my last question about handling the stress of grad school, episode 12. I have to do it in a year because my training grant pays for a year and I don't want to take out loans, but I pretty much just wanted to tell someone that I got a job. I'm studying.
Hey!
Yeah. She said, I'm studying early child special education, and I got a job as an EI/ECSE specialist. Also, the 36 hours a week of student teaching is required for licensure. It wasn't a question. It was just a message, but thank you so much for letting us know, Kalani. We're all very happy for you.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Congratulations! We love it.
All right, time to wrap us up with our last question of the day. We got it from Magnolia B. You guys are my absolute favorite comedy TikTokers. Stop. Thank you. And I hope that you're all doing great. I have questions particularly for each of you and for all of you. Dan, I'm currently questioning my sexuality, but do you have any tips for people who are questioning how to know if you're really attracted to a gender?
Kiss him.
I mean, that is one way.
Ask them.
Yeah, I think it comes from experimentation. I've had friends who are like a little more confused about their sexuality, and the only way to really know your true feelings about all the questions that you have is to really like kind of go for it. Like, see what your experience is like, see if that is something that you want to pursue, because that's the only way that you're really going to know. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to.
Communication is very important in that, by the way.
Yes, of course, yeah. Obviously,
What-
but that's how I've had friends that have
absolutely.
done that. I knew that I was gay from a very early age, so I don't really know about the experimentation part. I do know a lot of people, or my friends who consider themselves bi or queer in general, kind of went through a process of looking at dating apps, going on dates, seeing how they felt. That all took the thing. So take it as far as you'd like to do that, I'd say. That's my advice. It's like, go as far as you need to understand where you're at, but I'd say experiment a bit, right?
It's called the scientific method. You have a thesis,
Yeah.
and now you need to run experiments to get your conclusion.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah. Ben, did you learn all the accents for all the states in your videos? I'm from Illinois, and your impression is spot on. So how did you learn those accents?
Yeah.
Just lots of practice. So some of them I just kind of knew how to do. A lot of the southern ones just from traveling all the time. But the very specific ones, like Chicago, I got Chicago's accent from watching the SNL skit with Mike Ditka. The Bears. Just watch that over and over again. But yeah, they're just like, my dad's from Western New York, so I just talk like him when I do New York. I've met a lot of people from all over the place, and if I don't know someone from there, I just watch YouTube videos. I literally type in state accent on YouTube and just watch videos until I get it.
I love that.
Ryan, can you tell me a personality trait about you that is corrupt and about Beer Bong John that is pure? I could tell you so many about Beer Bong John that are pure. He's such a good human being. He's just like a wonderful person. John was able to identify something I've been struggling with because I did a modeling show a while ago, and I had this thing that was digging into the back of my shoulder essentially for 8 hours. And it caused permanent damage, like nerve damage, where if I turn my head to the left, I start shaking, and that's not the tremor. Not great. It's a nerve thing. And so John, I was like, man, I do this, and it's been years since that happened. And John goes, oh yeah. He just put his thumb against my shoulder. He goes, turn now. And I put it against, and I'll shake it all. And he goes, oh yeah, that's this, and this. He diagnosed me within 3 seconds. Like John is super smart and just a super good dude and was willing to help. He's always willing to help other people out. Trait about me that is corrupt. I like messing with John. I mean, I do like I think screwing with John is hilarious.
That you were gonna say that you hit on my cousin.
I did not hit on your cousin. Your cousin hit on me. That's different.
That you hate women.
No, I'm a big fan of women.
The gays.
Oh my god. I feel like one time Ben's gonna say it, it's gonna get taken out of context, and then like in 8 years when people forget that like
when you're a famous Marvel actor and you got the role, people
and then I'm just
like,
canceled right off.
I'm gonna laugh
Kelly
so hard, and every time people ask me about it in interviews, I'm just gonna laugh. I'm not gonna give them any answer either way. Just like, you worked a lot with Ryan back when you guys were both young comedians, and when this happened, how did you respond? And I'm just y'all believe that?
I don't even want you to say y'all believe that. I just want you to just laugh aggressively at them and like never answer. Just
I can do that.
I love that. I love that so much. No, I think messing with John is like one of my favorite things. But yeah, I don't know. There's the thing. It's like, I don't like, first off, like the purity and corruption thing, the really whole thing basis of that is purity is just trying to do the right thing all the time as aggressively as possible. Like trying to be the right thing.
Is literally Ryan.
Right.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
It's true.
But the corruption thing is just seeing those people and going, gosh, they're kind of annoying sometimes, and then messing with them. Like that's the whole thing. That's our whole thing.
And being chaotic is seeing both of them and not caring about either one.
Also known as the Ben. But yeah, so I would say that's kind of my thing is messing with John. I do think it's funny. Do you have a favorite? Oh, by the way, do you guys have a favorite comedy TikToker besides yourselves?
I think besides the three of us that are on the cast, right?
Yeah.
It's Ben Brainard, I think his name is, and
you don't. Okay,
Ryan, I think.
Don't lie. Don't do that.
But no, keep it up. I feel so much better.
You know who I think needs more love is Rich. Rich black guy.
Rich black guy. He's so good.
Every single one of his is on point. It's well thought out. It's well filmed. Rich black guy is fantastic, but also Mattozilla and
I don't watch much TikTok. But anytime I see a stand-up clip on there and I think it's funny, I will just follow that person. But I don't know really any of their names or anything. Yeah. I just follow a lot of stand-up guys. I know in the real life, Lonnie is really funny in person, and he's funny on TikTok.
Oh, love Lonnie, yeah.
Big shout out my friend Christoph Jean. He's super funny on stage and super funny on TikTok, and I don't think he gets nearly the love that he deserves for some of the stuff that he does on TikTok.
I like that.
I'm looking him up right now.
I think it's like Jean G or not G Jean Jax JAX comedy.
Okay.
He does it like with his friend or roommate, whichever one they are.
I think Brandon Ferris is great, and I also think Wayne Brady's a national icon and a treasure, and deserves the world. Yeah, those would be my favorites. Do you have any collabs coming up besides this podcast between the three of you? Even if you don't, what do you think some future collabs between the three of you would look like? I've been doing this thing now where I mess with people and I just give them, I go like, do you want to be a youth pastor? And then it's essentially like what variant of youth pastor they would be. So like I've done it with Caroline. I'm gonna be doing it with some other people. Ben, for me, I thought about for years. It's just, do you want to be a youth pastor? No. And then it's just been walking.
I think my answer would either be no or I've got nothing else to do today. Yeah. And I would give the most chaotic sermon.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
amazing. I'd get off here like, you didn't say God once. I was like, was I supposed to?
Was I supposed to?
But yeah, that's what I think would be fun to do with you guys.
Okay. I have collab series, like, because I basically just have someone be a character. So like I'll just do another one with Drew Lynch, where I'll bring in something from the CDC, or I'll do something with Charlie Barons and I'll have him play Wisconsin, stuff like that. I'm working with Frank Caliendo this week. I'm gonna see if we can come up with something like that. Dan, I want to get you on an episode sometime this month playing the gays, all of them. And just come into the table with like a very serious message, and then just the whole time some of the states are just asking you very, very normal questions about being gay, and you gotta be like, okay, look, it's the same thing.
That's so funny. I love that so much.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I just vibe check you guys, to be honest with you.
We've collabed before on that,
guys, Dan. Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
But you guys have never worn the hats.
No.
I would love to wear that
any
hat.
of my hats, and so
Can I just continue to be the Florida character?
No, that's what I.
That's just like I just walk in and you're like, what? And I'm like, is this the wrong room?
I need to get you guys your own little rubbery thing. Yeah, I'd get you guys your own colors, your individual. I'd get a red one for Ryan. What color do you like, Ben?
I don't have a favorite color.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I if people ask, I generally say like a deep red or a deep blue, but like I don't really have one.
Okay,
That's
cool.
totally fair.
Perfect.
That's
That's
it.
it for today. Thanks so much for being here.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out. I did the thing to my hand again. What am I doing? What is
Just
going on?
stop. All right, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for joining.
Look, I can do it without any problems.
Damn, Florida man, we are dysfunctional. If this was your first time, we hope you stick around and watch more. If this is your last time, you're
sorry.
Tune in next week. If you want to see us outside of the podcast, Ryan, where can they find you?
YouthPastorRyan.com. It's got all my socials. Do that thing.
Dan?
Dan Babab on all social media platforms except for Snapchat, which is at Dan
underscore YOLO love.
And I have my website, benbrainard.com, which has all of my links. You can find the podcast links at gdfmpodcast.com, and you can contact the podcast by emailing podcast@gdfmpodcast.com. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Bye!